The gaming industry is under collapse after a woke era absolutely obliterated the studios that made games you once loved and love no more. It's not just Halo, it's not just Xbox. Folks, we're here to tell you that Electronic Arts, now owned not by Americans, but by Middle Eastern investors. And why? Because DEI destroyed gaming. It's a great day. It's a groovy day. Welcome to all of our player ones out there, and welcome aboard for more news you need to know often before the drive-bys get a whiff, a sniff of what it is we're about to say. As we jump in, click that like button, and let's start it off, folks. Let's go in, my friends, to gaming. The collapse of gaming is here. Take a look at this out of thatparkplace.com by Marvin Montenaro. It says, reports indicate Halo Studios employees are being laid off. This matters because they just released a game that they were supposedly so proud of. Campaign Evolved, a reskinning of half of a 25-year-old legendary game. It says just 1 week after the controversial launch of Halo Campaign Evolved, reports are beginning to emerge that Halo Studios is once again facing layoffs. While Microsoft has not publicly announced a new round of cuts at the studio, multiple apparent Halo Studios employees have taken to LinkedIn in recent hours announcing they are looking for work, prompting widespread reports that layoffs are currently underway. And we're getting more confirmation of that. If we go over to Insider Gaming, Halo Studios hit by layoffs after Campaign Evolved launched by Robert DeFelice, or DeFelice, we don't know. Layoffs are occurring at Halo Studios. Goes on to talk about the same thing Marv has got. We've got Nick Treatman, producer at the studio. He's been caught up in the layoffs, says this, after 6.5 years working on Halo and dodging just as many rounds of layoffs, it has finally caught up to me. I have nothing but love for Halo and the folks at the studio. This is just a tough reality in the gaming industry right now. I'm open to new roles as a producer, project manager, working remotely or hybrid in the Seattle area. Well, I don't think that's going to go well because, unfortunately, this is not great. Paul Morris was listed as a Scrum Master. Wow, what a title. Today, I learned my time at Halo Studios will be coming to an end following the successful launch of our latest game, Halo Campaign Evolved. So, listen, this is not going well. Microsoft, you know how that's going. But that's not all, folks. Today as well, EA has been sold. Electronic Arts has been sold, a previously American company, now owned by folks out of the Middle East. Alex Gurzo, writing for Geeks and Gamers. The sale of Electronic Arts is now final. Last year, EA was bought by a consortium made of the Public Investment Fund, or PIF, the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia, and two American companies, Silver Lake, a private equity firm, and Affinity Partners, an investment firm founded by President Trump's son-in-law and former advisor, Jared Kushner. But this is really going to be owned by the Saudis now. Saudis own EA. It talks about this acquisition that has happened, and now people are saying that EA layoffs, although not yet announced, are likely to happen. Jason Schreier over on Blue Sky, of course he is. Jason's over on Blue Sky, of course. Says EA officially goes private tonight, meaning EA will no longer be traded on NASDAQ. First time in 36 years. All stockholders of EA will receive $210 per share. EA will take on $18 billion in debt and $1.8 billion per year in interest, again, to be paid by the Saudis, which we know that means probably the Saudi government going to take on some of this and give them more influence via gaming. Lauren, I want to go to you first on this. You've kind of been predicting that we're headed for an Atari-level crash, perhaps. This could be the start of it. It looks like to me, woke is going broke in gaming. Halo Studios is about the most woke studio there is. Electronic Arts has definitely been down that path before. We've seen the collapse of Blizzard, and Activision is struggling with them. They're owned by Microsoft as well. So everything except Nintendo and maybe Epic is struggle busing right now after the era of woke. What do you think about it?
I see it as a positive. This is not the first in the line of this. It's the first time that I think that we're really seeing. I think the EA purchase is going to be surprising to some folks, but it's been telegraphed for a few months. We're in the middle of a necessary correction. AAA has wasted all kinds of time, effort, money for increasingly worse results when it comes to sales or audience satisfaction. right now they're going to be doing a lot of layoffs. They're getting rid of the chaff, trying to save the wheat. And I suspect that with EA coming under Saudi control, they're likely going to dump an awful lot of the woke stuff. They're going to be catering to what the core audience for their properties wants. That's my hope anyway. I also hope that they start getting away from all of the microtransactions, the things that I think that's going to be harder for them to wean off of because they do make an awful lot of money on them, but it also is really not attractive to the audience. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But if they don't have a correction like this, if they don't start getting rid of the dead weight internally, if they don't start changing their approach, they will have a full-on crash, and that's worse for everybody. So I would rather see them begin to make corrections and see those corrections be successful than have to go through 10 years of them trying to rebuild an entire industry.
You can see here the video that we're playing is just a showcase of how inept the people who made Halo Campaign Evolved are. Even the markings from when you fire on a surface don't function correctly versus the 25-year-old game that got it right in the first place. Derek, we're watching lots and lots and lots of gaming studios, especially those who make AAA, be in big trouble. We've got GTA on the way this holiday season. That might prop up the industry, but after that, I think there's a real problem coming, especially for PC gamers, Xbox, and PlayStation. I don't sense it so much for Nintendo quite yet, but I could be wrong. What are your thoughts on where this industry is headed?
It's kind of the downstream effects that we talk about of, what happens when you elevate a lot of people that don't really have, the knowledge or the wherewithal or the expertise to do the job correctly. You're bringing people in for reasons other than quality and merit. It's like they are ideologues. That's what we've been seeing going through gaming, through Hollywood, through everything else. So this is not surprising, to Lauren's points, like it's kind of where we all kind of expected this to end up eventually. Because again, if you're going to continue to just elevate and reward failure and, these guys, they're I guess they're giving you the right answers to the questions that, woke Hollywood or, in this case, gaming is asking, then, yeah, you're going to continue to see this happen to the point where eventually the industry collapses in on itself. And, now, they're getting sold off and it is what it is. You would hope that they learn their lesson after all of this is done, because gaming is not going to go anywhere. The gamers aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to continue to demand excellence and quality in their products. So I just think this is, like what Lauren said, a necessary correction. We'll get back what we lost eventually, because the customer is always going to win at the end of the day.
And a serious question to you, Marv. If you're trying to find a job after this, it can't be easy if people look and say, well, you're attached to this game, this disaster. I mean, you guys didn't even make a game. You just tried to reskin an already functioning game.
Right. I mean, look, gaming for a while has been a place where you can fail upward. Look at Corinne Bush, the person who made what do you call it? The Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is now working for Wizards of the Coast. So, I mean, it is very possible to fail upward in the gaming industry. More than possible. But maybe I think that they're now starting to lose enough money, and China is starting to get way more involved through Tencent and things like that, I think you're going to start seeing a change. I think you're going to start seeing less people hiring Anita Sarkeesian and Sweet Baby Inc. and, trying to move on from all of this nonsense with all of these, woke firms that are coming in and trying to tell you how to woke up your game. That is pretty much what led to the death of this. It was a bunch of activist women started ingraining themselves into the game development space. And then all of a sudden, the entire world had to be as ugly as them. And everything that everyone loved about gaming went away because it was deemed toxic. And now what we're learning is that their vision for gaming does not have a large enough audience or with enough volume to be able to actually produce results. And this is what's happening now. This is what, and no studio quartered it more than Halo Studios.
Well, Microsoft filled that whole studio with just gender studies kinds of folks. Mm-hmm. Lou, there's a sad part of this, and I agree with everything Marvin just said. They've turned gaming into an anti-meritocracy. Lou, the sad thing to me is that these companies were American, then they were purposefully destroyed. We've talked about how they destroyed it in previous videos. now they're going to be sold. They're going to be controlled by China and the Middle East. And that's shameful to me that, America is where we export culture through these kinds of entertainment. This is an industry that's 14 times the size of the theatrical release industry. And we've shipped it out.
Yeah, except that it would be fair to say that in the case of the sexual politics and the rest, American traditional values are stronger in Saudi Arabia than they are in parts of America. As far as the things that killed it, those people aren't going to put up with any of that stuff. They just aren't.
Right.
So we'll see. Now, what interesting me is that they're doing these layoffs, quote, concurrent with the release of the game. Why'd they wait? The game has got to have been finished before this. And does that mean they're basically announcing, yeah, we know there are flaws and we're not going to keep people on who could fix them. That's it. It's over. Goodbye. So
that's a good question, Lou, because the question then becomes, is this something that happened that was planned beforehand, that they knew was going to happen before the game launched? Or was the launch of this game a disaster? And now all of a sudden they've been given the mandate to clean house, because as we saw on Steam, nobody was playing this game on Steam. I don't know if more people were. I'm assuming more people were playing it on Xbox and even on PlayStation. But
numbers were terrible.
A Halo game, but the numbers are not good.
I mean, it was getting.
Games are not good.
I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Launch.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, you're supposed to have hundreds of thousands of people playing a new game like this, and they had like 10,000. So, I mean, they missed the boat by like 50 times over.
Just like when we talk about rewatching with movies, how many who played it for a little while ever went back to it? Or just wrote it off as a bad investment and went on from there?
Marv, you live streamed it, and I think you did the prequel levels that they did brand new, right?
I wasn't able to do the prequel levels. I just did the beginning of the campaign. I was going to go back. I was like, I'll do the prequel levels next time. And now I'm just like, I would rather eat 12 peanut butter and banana sandwiches than play this game again.
Rather have a mega colon. Let me play this. This is
no doubt.
This is the new character they introduced on the right side of the screen. Girl boss, Lieutenant Williams, girl boss. Here she is, and people are finding ways to get rid of her apparently, and they're really excited about that.
You don't seem as impressed as the rest of your crew.
No, Sergeant Major, I'm not. Takes more than fancy armor and a good PR campaign to impress me.
You get part of won't respond there. So
goodbye.
Wow.
The voice acting is just so terrible, though. No, Sergeant Major, I am not.
You can hear the sneering in her voice. Like,
well, in the casting call,
anybody would want to play that. Or
who knows? In the casting call, it said, "Can you be obnoxious?"
Because the obnoxious lesbians that made this game want that character.
Indeed, they do. One of the greatest things we get to do each and every day is speak out and reach out to folks who don't know how entertainment works. And frankly, we think entertainment matters so much. It's why we do what we do. And you can help us send this out to even more folks. Click that like button, share, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. And wouldn't you know it, folks, we're even on Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. We've got to go, but until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.